sister doesn't want you playing with me.
Welcome back, everyone, to our video game book club of Bioshock 2, where we are in part 2 of this game. We're tackling levels 4, 5, and 6. And we're just going to get into it on this one. So, forgive me if these notes, they're as coherent as I hope they can be. Half of these notes were written like a week and a half ago, and like the last one was like from today, so it's like all over the place.
You can remind me of most of what happened in that part too, trust me.
So level 4 starts off in Popper's Drop. So this level starts off in the railroad maintenance facility that's been turned into a slum. The train station has been put in lockdown by Sophia Lamb's governor, Grace Holloway. I really like this level. So when we get there, Sinclair tells Christian, how long has it been since you played this? I finished it today.
I played it the day after we recorded.
Oh, it's like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's been a long, okay. So Sinclair tells us that we need to find Grace in her office and get the override key to proceed out of Popper's Drop, right, out of the maintenance facility. So essentially we start making our way there. We continue to make our way around, and as we're doing it, Grace just starts chatting with us because apparently everybody just has the ability to like tap into our fucking headset and just chit chat with us.
Yeah, we are just kind of open comms here. Yeah,
I guess. So she says, I remember you, monster. You stole Eleanor from me, twisted that baby girl into a sick thing. It can't even die. And now you come swanning into my neighborhood looking for me. Wrong turn, Tin Daddy. Which she said a lot and creeped me out every time she said Tin Daddy. She then said, when we hang you from a streetlight and you're choking out your last, I want you to remember my face.
Here, can I say this honestly? Yeah. I was like, I thought about this because I was like, you know, it's in all, well, not in Bioshock Infinite, but in the first 2 Bioshock games, we always play as a silent protagonist that can't speak, right? Mm-hmm. But I was thinking, I was like, man, I really wish we could get some, like, just even like a little bit of pushback, like, you know, some things like being like, you know, we hang you from a streetlight, and it's like, I'm literally like, there is no streetlight in Rapture that would be able to hold me. I will.
No, I'm like 1,000 pounds.
Also, no neck.
1,000 pounds.
There's no necks here, so there's a big old helmet. That's all you got.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably a neck under the helmet, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what they're going for. But with all my stuff, like, I'm just gonna break whatever happens or whatever you use. Yeah. What are you planning on using? Like steel rope? Like, I don't even know how you plan on doing. Like, it's just you don't have this. You don't have the ability to do this. It's an empty threat.
No. Also, like, if even if you weren't familiar with like the work of the Big Daddies of the past, you've seen me in this game just tear through people. So like, what makes you think you're going to be able to stop me? Like, you and your people.
Yeah.
I did like Grace's voice acting, so she's kind of that like Southern Louisiana New Orleans showgirl sort of thing, which was very good. But again, just because this, if I didn't do some of this and didn't give you the background, one, we would have an incoherent story because it would really be dependent on how many audio logs you picked up. And two, if I didn't do any of this background to bring life to Rapture, this would be like a 6-minute book club. So a little bit about Popper's Drop here. It used to be in the maintenance junction 17 of Atlantic Express Railroad, and it really became like ad hoc housing, which is the way we see it, for workers and their families once the construction of the train was completed. Because what happened is they brought down a ton of workers for the skill of like building the railroad, and especially like the skill to build it, I guess, at the bottom of the sea. And once it was all done, they were like, hey, thanks, you're not really like the artists and the thinkers we need, and we have some really great architects, so like we don't need you anymore. And people are like, cool, I'll go home. And they're like, well, you can't do that because then people would know. So you're just going to live here now, but be uber poor, because any ultra rich, wealthy environment, if there's one thing they need beyond money, is poor people to shit on.
Yeah, a
So
labor class to
you're
exploit.
so just do that, please.
Yeah.
So everyone was just left in this neighborhood, and eventually, railroad tycoon Prentice Mill, who founded the Atlantic Express, ended up here in Pauper's Drop too, because when the Civil War happened and the economy fell, and all the stuff between, like, in the first game, right, and kind of right before the first game popped off, people didn't need the railroad, and he fell into disrepair, so he landed here too. Now, this was right when a little Mr. Sinclair saw an opportunity to build Sinclair Deluxe, a cheap hotel for all these workers to live in. So, kind of like
He did
community
declare.
housing. He did declare. So Sophia also saw this as an opportunity, and she started like going in there, partnering with Sinclair and offering free counseling sessions. And it was all a guise to start spreading her like collectivist,
Snake.
anti-Ryan ideals, right? Which I find this actually breaks up really good, just like the first game broke up between kind of like three individual boss fights or three individual like big events happening. This game breaks up in three chunks really well too, and this middle chunk is really like, the first one was finding out what's going on in Rapture and like where our story's going. The second one is really showing us how Lamb has taken over, and each one of these three we deals with a person, not necessarily a boss, but like a person that we interact with, and it really shows how she manipulated all these people into following her even before Ryan and Fontaine like popped off, right? Like she was seeding these little like ideas before that happened. So here she worked with all the poor people at Sinclair to offer therapy. It was just like, hey, Ryan is lying to you, right? All of his ideas of like pick yourself up by your bootstraps, like that's not real. He sold you this bill of goods that he came down here. Like really the way to get around
You
that
get some of those
is
audio
the
logs
people working
too in
together.
this section. They're really good. Like there's some
Yeah.
speeches that she's giving to some like the workers and stuff, and she is like really fucking going at it.
I have a note here somewhere, and again, I forget where it was, but there's one where it's a debate between her and Ryan, like on a debate
Yeah,
stage.
yeah,
And they're
yeah,
talking about like religion and other stuff, and it was super good.
yeah. That was a good one.
Um, so pretty soon, like after the fall of Ryan and Fontaine, Sophia, with the power over the area, she worked with Grace to kick Sinclair out of the hotel. And she's like, hey, thanks for your help. Bye bye. I'm going to use this as my base of operations. So, like we saw Fontaine Futuristics in the last game, where that was his base, this hotel was her base. And here's my note: like this area has some really good audio logs. One of them is Lamb and Ryan in debate around having religious rites and rapture, which we do know like Ryan was very much against. And then there's another one about a guy talking about people putting on a Sunday service. That one was really cool. So that one was just this dude was like, hey, my family is here. We're poor. We have nothing. They keep treating us like shit. But I have some friends that are going to the Sunday service, and I hear it's pretty interesting. I'm thinking about going this Sunday. And that ties into the next level we'll talk
Yep.
about. But like, it was just a really good acted audio log and a little bit of foreshadowing. So you got to see how Sophia used this to get the poor people of Rapture on her side, which was a really nice touch, and it runs parallel to what we see by like the ultra conservative. Oh, that's my note here. What I liked about this part is that it does run parallel to like real life, where you can see some of what she was doing in using some of these programs and religion and kind of weaponizing this to manipulate like these ultra conservative people against the other leaders, right? Like, hey, we're the religious side, like we're the righteous side and the holy side, and like these other guys talk about good stuff, but it's all on your own. Like, no, this is the help you need. I don't know. I thought it was really poignant for some of the stuff that we're going through today, but like all throughout history, you've seen people do it the same way, which I'm sure
Oh
is where
yeah.
they got.
Yep.
I'm sure that's where they got the inspiration for this. but it was really good bit of detail. So back to our story. As soon as we walk through the door, there are three people kind of praying around, worshiping over a dead body in the altar, right under a little sister hole. And I just noted this one because it looks like they killed somebody and put them on the altar to entice the little sister out, and they were going to like nab her for Adam.
Yes.
And it was just super creepy. I was just like, that's super weird and real gross.
It is. It was very strange. There's a lot of environmental stuff in this game that's, I think, better than the first one, but they do a lot of stuff like that.
I have two photos I didn't share with you guys, and I'll have to do it later. One was a spider splicer that was like, it was a video, it was kind of glitched. So I was like literally standing below him, and his hands were like backwards, his feet were backwards, and he was just like waving left and right, like on the wall. And the spider splicers of this game are way creepier than the ones of the first game.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And then there was another one where I killed a splicer, and her foot was fleshy, but it was the shape of a stiletto. So it was like a skin foot and then like a skin heel. It was very unsettling. So anyway. So we continue on. So we continue on, and we get to a point in this level where this big brute, who might be the first time we've seen them, kind of block our path from making our way to Grace. And of course, Sinclair's like, well, shit, man, we got to get through that door. Like, I don't know how to do it, but maybe if there's a way we can figure out what makes that guy so strong, we can figure it out too. And this introduces our new game mechanic, which is the camera and research time. Yay. And we got to research this guy so we can see what makes him big and strong, so we can do it too. So it's a video camera, not just a snap camera. The mechanic is generally the same. It is not. Well, yes, you're not just snapping photos. You press it once, it films up to 30 seconds. And based on how fast or how uniquely you kill these things, you get a rating between like A and I think C. And that's how you get your points.
Now, why is that better? I'll tell you why. It's because you press it once and then play the game. Then you have to wait to get damaged and then be like, okay, cool. I just took that free hit for nothing, especially on harder difficulties. Like on easy, it's not that big of a deal, but on harder ones, like, that's like a nice chunk of your health that you have to sit there and eat because you had to get right in this fucking thing's face and then be able to try to... But by the time you switch to a weapon, you're already getting hit with something. It's too late. This is at least, okay, I see the enemy that I need to hit. It hasn't noticed me yet. Cool. I'll start the video thing, and then I will shoot.
It auto-switches to a gun for you as well.
Huh?
It auto-switches to a gun as well. Versus the last one, you had to like take pictures and then switch.
Absolutely. Back. I still think the mechanic is stupid and I don't use it. Yeah. But it is a completely improved and fixed version of this mechanic.
So I'm torn on it because I think for enemies it is better and improved. But this game, you don't have to engage with this, right? But like you have to take photos and video to research other things like the machine gun turrets and the cameras and shit. But like typically you would hack those things because if I'm about to get a battle, like I want to hack all the turrets so they work for me as I'm just meandering around. But this one, if you film them and hack them, it doesn't do anything. Like you gotta have to like blow them up. For like cameras and turrets, it's way harder to get research. For splicers, it's actually way easier, which is really nice.
Which is why the actual advice here is just don't do the mechanic
or
at all.
Give it its own separate button where you can just press while you're fighting so you can get a quick snapshot. You don't need to switch to a weapon or an item. Just find me a button that we're not using. Let me hit it. So you go chink, and we get the little snapshot of whatever you're doing, and then that's the best way to do it. They didn't do anything like that.
That would have been smart. They didn't consult any of us.
I know.
To be fair, we were young, but it is upsetting because it is a much better mechanic and still has plenty of flaws.
Yeah,
it still has plenty of flaws. So we researched the Brute Splicer and we learned this ability to charge bash, which is pretty crazy that like this big hunk of metal we never thought to like run through shit.
I was upset about the first episode. Like, man, I just really want to fucking dash. I just want to I see what they're doing with the big daddies, like, rah, and they come at you real fast.
Yeah.
I want that. And I finally got it. I'm like, fuck yes. Thank you. That's what I wanted.
I had finished this before Preston started playing, so I got to watch him play through it. And it was such a funny thing listening to his voice going through this playthrough for him, because he gets the charge and he goes, "Are we finally getting it? We're finally getting it. This is what I wanted the whole time." And my game just crashed.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you mentioned, the remastered is not the most perfect way to play this on PC. I found out twice so far this playthrough because it just crashes you.
Yeah, and
dude,
the second one was
saves
even worse. Yeah.
I can tell you, I hope you tell me when we get there to your second one, but I can tell you this game, like just the OG, like it's chef's kiss. I have not had a single problem throughout this game. It's flawless. So it's amazing they enhanced it and made it worse somehow. But anyway,
I've only had one crash so far, but it was in the start menu, and so it didn't bother me. Like it happened, and I was like, "That's strange," and then I loaded it back up, and then it was fine for my whole playthrough. Yeah, Preston's this first one, he wasn't super far into it, so he was like, "Well, that's annoying. I got to redo this," but that's fine. The second one, it had been so long since it happened the first time that he started to get comfortable, and so it happened again, and there was a lot of stuff. Like,
I can't tell you where it was, but yeah,
that is peak Elder Scrolls right there,
so
where like you start to get comfy, you're like, "Oh, no big deal," and the game's like, "Haha, bitch!" and crashes.
Save.
I'm glad I haven't had problems because I've been going entire levels without saving. Like I'll save at the end of each level or something, and I don't even think about it, and that would destroy me.
Yeah, I was doing after each level too, and I kept thinking to myself, when I was watching the Preston playthrough, I went, "Well, I'm saving every 5 minutes."
Find that quick save button.
Yeah. So once we get this dash, it's funny too that we got it, Preston. I used it there. I have not remembered to use it at any other point in this game.
Plenty of times.
Haven't used it once.
Dash.
I don't even know what button it is to do it. To be honest with you,
I can't remember now. Just 2 weeks ago, but when I get back into it this week, I'll remember. Okay. I'll find it.
Okay.
Electroshock gun.
Electroshock dash.
Yeah. Honestly, I do electroshock gun or electroshock and bonk on the head, which still does just as good as the wrench. So. So we move on toward Grace, and we get close to her room. She just starts again chit-chatting away. We both died tonight, monster. Because killing you is in your nature, and because there is no way, because there's no way the family will let you stroll out of here with the key that she's linked to, the key that we need to open up the junction and move on. So. Between her saying that in the room, we get another audio log that tells us more about Grace and Eleanor's relationship. And it says, like, empty house, only an echo to my name, Eleanor, baby. Where are you? I turned my back and someone took you. It happened so quick. I'm not even half a mama to you girls. This doesn't have the same thing when I don't have the southern accent there. But I couldn't protect you. The poster of Dr. Lamb in my room is staring me down like it knows I'm ashamed. I've always been loyal to your real mother, Eleanor. Always trusted her with my secrets, but I lost you. What will the doctor think of me now? And I noted that just because, like, this comes around later, like in the third playthrough, because we find another audio log between Lamb and Grace, which is a little insightful. But it was just the fact that, like, that little line of, like, I've always been loyal to your real mother was just an interesting little thing, right?
Yeah.
That I noted. I don't remember where that goes, but I was just like, I feel like we should remember that one for later. So, in the room where we hear this, there's a poster on the wall, and we move the poster out of the way, and behind it there's a button for a secret door. So we push that and we find another door with a window, and we find Grace. Continuing, I know Travis will love this, continuing our tradition of finding people behind glass.
Yeah, I thought about this time too.
But one for Travis, they open the door, so you get to go in. So
they sure do.
Grace says, I know you. I know what you're here for. Go on, take it. I won't have you touching me. Dr. Lamb has trusted me to watch Eleanor, but she disappeared. And one day I see her walking with you, looking wrong. And when I tried to hold her, you knocked me down. You broke my jaw. So I'm ready, baby snatcher. Come in and finish the job. And here you have. Go ahead, Christian.
Honestly, when she said that, I was like, it was the first time I thought about, like, for this character, I was like, yeah, this makes sense that, we were attached to Eleanor and we're going to go do this and yada, yada, yada. Then it was like, she's like, you broke my jaw. And I was like, well, that seems a bit extreme. I don't know why we would have, a quick shove could have been, we didn't have to uppercut this poor woman in the jaw. Like,
It, so it's a nice little way to do it because I agree with you. Like, you're starting to feel these things for Gracie to be like, okay, or Grace to be like, okay, well,
yeah.
which way are you falling, right? Like, are you this woman that works for Lamb, or were you manipulated into working for Lamb? Like, what's going on? And then they have that. And they do it well because now you have a choice. You have a choice to spare Grace, or you have a choice to kill Grace. What did you guys choose?
Spare. It was an easy spare.
Yeah. Very easy spare.
Okay. Yeah, you killed her because you knew we were going to choose to spare.
No, he's playing safe.
I did it because
okay.
Yeah, I'm playing safe. Remember, I haven't played this like in forever since it came out, so I spared her as well. And so she says, "You had me under the gun, and you just walk away. No monster alive turns the other cheek. No monster does that. A thinking man does that."
I know. She
says,
a thinking man does that, and I was like, "I'm a thinking man." Yeah, it was stuck in my head the whole time.
And she says, I know that Dr. Lamb is no liar, but she's got to be wrong about you. It doesn't seem right now letting you walk into that bushwhack waiting outside. I can't call off a family, but I can whisper a bit and improve your odds. So what she does, she sends us like flying turrets to help us deal with the people outside that she said were going to kill us if we leave.
I did say it was like, if this is annoying though, I'm like, because if there was anybody who could call it off, it'd be you. Person who
You're the
organized it,
governor of Pauper's Drop.
Yeah, like, but you
run.
You had this whole ambush set up, thinking that I would kill you, so you could have just said, "Hey guys, never mind."
I think they don't say this explicitly. I'm just gonna write it off to the fact that like these splicers are fanatics of Lamb, and even if she changed her mind, she knows it's not.
I think that's stop. That. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is.
Yeah. So she sends the turrets, and the last thing she says is, "Well, sir, I don't know what to call you now. You've done more than just spare my life. You've opened my eyes. I need to put a few questions to Dr. Lamb. Very shortly, if you do kill her, she says, Grace failed to protect Eleanor from the fall of Russia. I'm sorry. If you kill Grace, Lamb comes on and says, Grace failed to protect Eleanor from the fall of Rapture, Delta, and my human daughter was lost forever. But I forgave Grace for that, and you murdered her, ratifying her bigotry. She was right about your nature, and you have made her so." So,
and what's funny
that's
is
all it is. It's just a simple line.
And if you spare her, she's just like, you might be able to fool Grace into thinking
I know
you're something,
true.
But you won't fool me. I hate you. Yeah.
You do get a trophy for sparing her. I don't think you get a trophy for killing her. There's clearly a right and wrong one here, and that is one. So there are a couple of options we have throughout the game that give you the ending beyond just saving the little girls or not little sisters. So it's a little different. So we get back.
Speaking
we unlock the door.
Little sisters. So this mission had 2 of them in it.
The next 2 have 3.
And
no, they're fun story behind this one.
So you do 2, and then I was thinking like, oh, I wonder if I can just take, like, maybe I didn't know how it was gonna work. I was like, oh, maybe I'll take one little sister to like. Does this mean I'm taking one sister to 4 bodies, or is it? No, it's 2 little sisters separately to 2 bodies each, and it has to be like that.
If you want.
So I was like, oh, well, this seems like this could get a bit tedious. And then the next 2 missions had 3, and I was like, oh, this is my limit. This is my limit. And if the next levels have as many or more than this, is going to be too much.
Christian, you watched me play.
The next.
I was going to say I wasn't going to spoil, but yeah.
The next set of levels, for when we come into, has 3. I know that. The other 2, I would assume the final level is just the boss fight, probably like the first game. So I doubt there's much there. But I know the next playthrough, the first level has 3.
So you don't have to deal with all of them.
You don't have to. Well, only in one mission you do. We'll get there in a minute.
No. So, much to my chagrin, so Preston found out that if you ignore them at every level, it still pops up the warning. However, they will carry it over to whatever level it is. So when you get to the final level of this playthrough, he had 8 little sisters that he had the ability to capture.
At the bottom of this, really?
Yes. And I was like, and I thought, and I was honestly, I'll just admit this now, I was praying that he would have to do all 8 because that mission makes it a mandatory thing. They still only made him do 3. And I was
dude, if you had to do...
Son of a bitch.
If you had to do all 8, that would have been maybe the funniest moment we would have had in this book club.
It was funny when I didn't have to. I was pretty happy about it.
Oh, because I was like, it makes you do these 3. And I was like, but I don't know. It doesn't make any sense because I was like, I think it's going to have you do all of these because of the story implication, because of what happens when when you get there. But I was like, there's a pretty clear reason as to why we have to do all of them in this level. So it makes sense that it would be all of it. But then the game was like, nope, we only have to do 3. And I was like, fuck you. I was just like, oh.
Dude, if you would have had to have done that, I would have lost my mind. Now, to be fair, you don't actually have to do... One, you don't have to engage with it in any other level but that one. Even in that one, I think you get by with doing 1 body instead of 2. I don't think you're forced to do 2 bodies. You can do 1 and just go dump her off in the
I don't know.
Oh, maybe, but I'm just saying if you want to get
if you want max Adam.
Yeah, if you want to, if you're trying to do the mechanic, then yeah, you got to take her to do 2 and then drop her off.
Yeah.
So at that point, like almost the last 2 levels, it was 6 bodies by the end of it for just the 3 of them, and I was just like, "Fuck, dude."
I know. Like I said, because I went into the next level and saved and stopped. There are 3 in that one. I don't know about the other 2. So, yeah, this game does throw Adam at you, right? You have you get it twice from the little girls, and then you get it again when you save or harvest her at the end, and then you get it again. If you save all the little girls, you get a big sister at the end of almost every level that you could fight, and which is 40 more Adam. Which to me just says hey guys, all the tonics, before we had 6 categories, now we just have 1 tonic category. Still too many. You could probably have done with I don't know, half, right? I don't need that much.
Yeah.
But anyway. So, oh god, dude, if you would have do all 8, that would have been hilarious.
I know it was. I was praying. And what's so funny is too is
so happy about that.
He certainly doesn't have. He wasn't engaging with it before because he wanted to test it, and now he certainly doesn't have to because after the second crash, he went right to the start menu, put it down on easy, and he was like, "See ya." And so now he's definitely not going to engage with it.
That's so funny. So, and this game, speaking of easy, even on an easier difficulty, this game is harder. Straight up, this game is harder than the first game.
Yeah.
They've tweaked the enemies to be more difficult. They've tweaked the enemies to take more damage. The leadhead splicers go down with a few shots, but those spider splicers, if you don't kill them the right ways, will just eat you up. So, Siren Alley. A little quote from Sinclair. I do love Siren Alley, the kind of place you go to scratch an itch you're ashamed of, even in a town with no laws. So, Siren Alley was a high-class area where all the architects started off. Architects such as Simon and Daniel Wales from Wales and Wales Architecture in Ireland. They would show off their skills. And it's a really pretty district. It has a bunch of different artistic styles, shopping centers, stuff catered to the upper-class residents. And Siren Alley was considered one of the ritziest places in Rapture. It really is the glitzy 20s, the roaring 20s, right? Now, after the collapse, many residents tried selling themselves to get by, aka prostitution, right? Because there's a couple of economies that never go out of style in any civilization, and that is drugs and sex. So, some people sold themselves, and some sold themselves not just as sex workers, but also like do with me, like send me somewhere, right? We know that people needed people to test big daddies and do other stuff. But a lot of people sold themselves to Daniel Wales. So he had become hip, and many buildings that house the architectural firms, shopping centers, lodging, and other places, they were made into bars, casinos, brothels, and even an illegal plasmid laboratory. So, Preston, to your point, yeah, it just became the perennial red light district of Rapture. Um, and it's something that it maintained throughout the Civil War, throughout the fall of Rapture, even now during Sophia Lamb's reign. This is also where Simon Wales started following Lamb, and he mixed in with her philosophy of collectivism, and he brought his religious background into it, and he converted the pumping station into a church where he could preach to his congregation. So that little like thing we heard in the last level about the guy thinking about going to Yeezy's Sunday service, it's led by this guy.
God. Yeah.
So,
Jesus.
so our goal at this level is to find pumping station 5 to drain the water out of Dionysus Park. So Dionysus Park is our next level. Yep. But as we left the last one, Simon actually crashed our train, dropping us in the water of Rapture, and it was in front of Dionysus Park, but the place is flooded. So we had to detour to Siren Alley to find the pump station so we can move on. So this area is generally straightforward. 3 little sisters here that we have to save. Actually, in my note, Christian, when you say that. Three little sisters here that we have to save, which sucks. But it's just a lot of exploration to get to the brothel. Eventually, we have an encounter with Father Wales, Simon, in his church. And we take on some splicers. He gives us a weird, like, hey, guys, here comes a big monster. Come and take the child from us. And he's going to take paradise itself, so fight back and send it back to hell. Toward the end of the level, before the fight, you can also find an audio log between Lamb and Grace, and this is what I alluded to a minute ago. It's with a therapy session that Lamb is having with Grace, and it's kind of like she's using Grace's feelings of like, hey, you really want a kid, but you can't have a kid, so she's using that to like manipulate her cause. And she's like, since you can't have a kid, like a kid isn't just biological, it's also a mental state, right? Even though you can't have one, like you could be equally a mom to my daughter. You can treat her like your own. All I need from you is to join our cause, use your singing voice, use your popularity, like bring people to us. And I just have a note, like it's pretty fucked up how Lamb here, like, again, used more manipulation in a different way to continue to take control of Rapture. So that's like these 3 levels is seeing this like rise of Lamb through these different people. First Grace, then Father Wales, and then the next one we'll meet in a minute. So you have to kill Father Wales in this fight. After you do, Sinclair tells us that now we can throw the pumping station switch and drain the water from Dionysus Park, getting us into the next area. Once we do flip the switch, Lamb comes over the comm and says, do you think me a tyrant Delta vying for control of a dead man's dream? The city is nothing. Rapture must die so that Eleanor may rise from its body. Allow me to demonstrate. So she's like, hey, asshole, like, you think I just want to like be queen over this place. That's not what I want at all. Like, I want this place to die like Ryan died, but through it will allow me to bring birth to my daughter and make her the true power she was already meant to be. We don't know what that is yet.
And then I want to be queen. Like it's like I don't want to be queen over this pile of rubble. I want to create a new city and then be queen over that one.
Yes. And she's like, so let me show you what I'm going to do. And she just starts flooding Siren's Alley. And she does. And she kills everybody in it. And in the next level in Dionysus Park, we even see people from Siren Alley just floating in the ocean dead.
Which is so insane. Oh my god, it's such a good touch.
They made her such a better antagonist.
Yes.
Than Ryan
my god,
dude,
I know.
There's so much more. It's not just like 2 dudes having a like dick measuring contest to be like, no, I built the city. The other guy's like, but I could run it better. Like, no, this woman like manipulated people and fucked with their minds and like got religion involved and health involved and like what this next level talks about like what true censorship means. And she just like burnt it down from the inside. Is crazy. So much better. So Diagnostic Park, the last level, there's an audio log right in the beginning from Andrew Ryan that says this place is Lamb's property. He's like, and I won't touch it. I won't touch here or it or her here. But if the case against her proves true, then I will come back with a sledgehammer. So, what is he talking about? You can piece it together through a bunch of audio logs, or I can just tell you, which is the majority of this level. So, before the fall of Dionysus Park was a private property of Sophia Lamb, and she felt that despite Ryan's goal that artists of Rapture should no longer fear the censor, right? He still censored a lot of the art when they did something he didn't like. Sound familiar? So Lamb created Dionysus Park as a safe haven where artists could present their work unrestrained and kind of defy it, like just a fuck you to Ryan, right? So the park was open to the public. It was free of charge. It was, again, more ways just to get the poor people of these areas on her side. She wasn't charging for it. And she started to like spread her philosophy and use it to like slander Ryan in front of all these people that were coming. So it was, as I was doing my notes and reading, like it was kind of a stark contrast intentionally to Ryan's Arcadia. In fact, like we go to a theater in this level that is very reminiscent of the theater of Fort Frolic from the first game, right? But they are different places. So Dionysus Park became respected by many of the artists in Rapture, including one Sander Cohen. Ever heard of him? So pretty soon, Ryan got pissed because, like, hey, Sander was his friend, and he started to look for reasons to take Lamb out to get rid of her. And he had Augustus Sinclair hire a man who could infiltrate Lamb's group and get evidence that he could use against her so that he could have a reason to imprison her because she was so beloved by everybody. He can't just like go in and arrest her. Like he needed to generate this reason. And that man was the character we meet in this level, Stanley Poole, a news reporter from the Rapture Tribune. So while in the park, Stanley really struggled to like find out Lamb's plans, even though he became like pretty in tune with the family. Like he got in her inner circle pretty quickly. And not only was he having trouble finding out the real reason behind what she was doing, but he also got like really anxious as Ryan was putting more pressure on him. And Eleanor started to notice something was up. And he was concerned she was going to like call him out as a phony. So eventually, Stanley found enough evidence that Sophia was spreading these collectivist ideas. And Ryan's like, fuck it, we're going to prosecute her. So he goes in, he arrests Sophia Lamb, he takes her out, right? He ships her off to Persephone, which I told you earlier was a prison. After that, he's left all alone in charge of Dionysus Park. So he's like the governor of this area. And he was just like, perfect, she's gone. He starts embezzling funds. He starts having like huge lavish parties where he rubs his face on women's chests, as we saw in like one random scene. Yeah, I know.
Well, and we should mention too that you're getting these flashbacks because as he's sort of telling us these things through these levels, or we're finding this out because Eleanor,
she's telling us,
is telling us through some of this stuff too.
Yeah. So, he's having these parties and stuff, and Eleanor's still around. She still sees him misusing his position, and she confronts him. She's like, hey, I'm going to tell my mom. Like, I'm going to write to her and tell her what's going on, and I'm going to tell her followers, and they're going to be pissed. So he's like, well, that can't happen. So he takes her, and he sells Eleanor to Siren Alley into the orphanage. So after the events of the 1958 New Year's Eve riot, so like 2 years prior to the first game, Stanley began to hear rumors that Sophia Lamb had been seen in the city again, and he feared that like what she would do if she found out he was the one that sold her daughter and did all this stuff. So he needed a way to make sure that nobody sold him out, and she would never know what he did. So this dude goes cuckoo bananas. He learns that there's a catastrophic design flaw in the pump lines running through Dionysus Park, and he damages the system, and he floods the entire place, and he kills everyone in it. Because nobody's alive, can't tell. So then, because he's a reporter, he was able to report that the flood was a cult-related incident of intentional mass suicide by the press. Like, that's what the press said. So Poole spent a decade believing that he was the only one who knew what really happened.
Also, there's mention in there in those stories that he's the reason that we became a Big Daddy in the first place. He sold us out as well.
So we'll get there too, right here, actually. So Sinclair tells us that, hey, in Dinosaur Park, we found another train to take us where we need to go to get Lamb, but that we're also not alone in this place. It's like there's a shadow lurking around the security booth. So I'm going to lay low. You take care of it. So next thing we know, Stanley comes over the radio. He introduces himself. He's like, hey, I'm stuck here trying to get out. I'm looking to strike a deal. I don't want to be messed with. Come talk to me. So we make our way to him. As we start making our way through the level, we start having these telepathic visions from Eleanor. And one of them is just like what we've had before. She's talking to us. She's going to give us a gift, which is the last weapon we get in this game. It's a grenade launcher, just like we had before.
Yep.
Yes. So she also says in that one, she's like, Mother can't hear this conversation between us. She can't hear us talking, even though she's looking right at me. And she's like, she has a weird face right now, but she can't hear us. So the next room, we get in the train station, security, we meet Stanley. He tells us that, he's like, hey, he starts to allude to what happened, because everything I told you we haven't really found out yet. We continue to find out through the level. But he's like, look, there's a lot of shit that happened in Dionysus Park. I may or may not have been involved. The Atom can tell the story. Now that you've drained this place, little sisters can come in. They can get the Atom. They can see the dead bodies. I don't need what the little sisters see here, getting back to Lamb. So do me a favor, take care of him. That makes this whole level one big escort mission where we have to get 3 little sisters, take them to 6 bodies to collect Atom, then save or harvest them, and quote, taking care of them for Stanley. So even if you save them, he's like, well, you got him to work for you, so no big deal, blah, 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 we're all good to go. So it doesn't mess up your morality meter there. After each little sister we save, Eleanor then sends us another telepathic message telling us what really happened with Stanley. So how he took advantage of Sophia being imprisoned with all the money in the parties, how he took all the money and spent it, and then how he sold her to an orphanage to cover everything up. And then with this knowledge, make our way to the end of the level, we have the option to kill Stanley or leave him. Just like we did with Grace. And Stanley tells us...
Before we do this, though, what was the... Mm-hmm. In one of his little audio logs, he tells us what our original name was.
Yeah, I have that here. So Sophia tells us, she knew about what he did for years, and she let him live. And then there's a bit of backstory with him and us, right here at the end, too, to kind of, help us along in this decision.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he tells us he knows about us. Our name... everybody called us Topside Jack.
Because that's what it was.
We literally found our way to Rapture completely accidentally. We were just some dude in a diving bell that used to dive for a hobby, and we found our way all the way down. We got down there. People, again, can't let us go back. So Stanley, knowing about us, was also a reason he sold us and had us turned into Subject Delta to have it covered up, and then he also covered it up in the news. So Stanley sucks.
I just love this old Topside Jack, and I kept thinking it was old Johnny Two Fingers. It's just so funny.
Yes. So after what he did with this area, not to say Lamb was a saint, but took advantage of her, and then sold her freaking daughter, and then turned us to a big guy. This dude sucks. So again, we're left with an option: did you kill him or did you save him?
He died. I killed him.
Yeah. So I was I had the trigger sitting there, and I was bad.
He's pretty bad though, right?
He sucks.
You suck. And then I was like,
fuck this guy.
I know these games though. And I know 2K, and I know this team. They are they don't. You're not supposed to do this. That's really what the crux of it is. And so, what I did was what I would say is the moral victory, which is that I did not kill him, but before I left, I put 18 trap bolts at the
You're
door.
not getting out.
So that I know in my head that the second he goes to leave, he dies. In my canon. The game won't reflect that, but the reality is that as soon as he has to either live in that train car for the rest of his life or he dies.
So I was going to do both, but I didn't know which one to end on, so I did some Googling. People have a bunch of different ways to do a version of what you did, which was like, in my head canon, he's going to die. Some people did trap bolts. Other people lured splicers into there with him and just like let the splicer take him out in the gunfight and other stuff. But a lot of people did.
Wouldn't that count though?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. So
I feel like that would still count. I don't know. Maybe not.
I killed him the first time just to see what happened. Nothing happens. He dies. I reloaded the save. I left him alive because, as Christian said, right, they don't want you to do this. There isn't much of a difference in the dialogue or action of the game. So, like, whether you kill him or you get on the train, like, nothing really happens differently as far as I've made it. Now, it's possible Leia might chit-chat with us in the next level, but nothing I've heard. It doesn't. It's a minimal impact on the ending, so you can kill him and still get the good ending. But leaving him,
well, that's upsetting to know.
Yeah, so leaving him alive, it gives you a little extra moral boost. So, like, there are some other decisions that you can fail on, but still pass. There's I don't know. I won't talk about it. There's like,
we'll find out later.
There's something that you're trying to do as Delta, with Eleanor, right? To, I don't know, be a good role model, or
I was gonna say, it's felt like we were trying to set an example for her because she's like sort of living through our vision.
She can see what we do. Yeah, so it's kind of that, right? We're not really talking about forgiveness, but it is kind of like being a good example. So it is better if you leave him alive, but you don't have to. It doesn't do too much. Now, Preston might get fucked either way if he's not engaging with little sister stuff.
We'll find out.
He might accidentally. Oh, are you? So this is the end of our playthrough. We leave here and this is it. Before we finish here, Preston, you're not engaging with the mechanic. So are you? You're just ignoring them completely. Like, you're not.
Yeah, outside of the 3 at the very end and like the first handful that you did at the very beginning, I've just been like, oh, there they are. Keep on walking.
Bye. You walks right by them.
Later.
I can't wait
You're
to
not
see how
forcing me to do it. Why am I going to do it?
I can't wait. But they tell you. They're like, hey, don't.
No, they warn you that you're going to leave them behind, but it's not going to stop your game. It's not going to give you a game over screen. So they let you continue on and play.
I can't wait to see how the game logic handles.
I would love to see how it goes.
When it comes to the ending.
It keeps stacking them, so I guarantee you if the next one has 3, he'll be back at 8 little sisters again.
I can't wait. Unless that level for some reason set as a reset. So anyway, that's where we are. We're now continuing on. We're on our way to Sophia. We got some really good backstory. Little sister, like, all that bullshit, leaving it behind. The story itself in this playthrough was very good.
Yeah, like audio logs.
I think it created a lived-in rapture that surpassed anything the first game has done. But
I agree.
So continuing on, part 3 will be the final part of this. I take that back, actually. We will have a little addendum. I need to look up this. I'll talk to you guys during the week.
Preston will insert.
Christian asked if we were going to play.
Edit.
Christian asked if we were going to play. What is called? Sirens. Minerva's Den. Thank you. The DLC, because it does tie into like 3, and a little bit of 1. So
it's also very good too.
It's very highly rated. So I just don't know how long that is. We might have a 4th part. We might just do a little interlude there. It might be long enough to where we make it a 4th part, but it is worth playing. And we do have it.
Do we or do you? Because DLC is a little different.
3 hours. So I would say
it's an extra part.
We should finish the main game and then just add Minerva's Den as a part. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, Preston, we should. It's a good question. We'll look.
I think with the remaster, it'll probably bundle it in as far as what's in the solid game. So
I think it is. So
cool.
That's where we are, everybody. So check in with us next time as we have the final part of the main game. Don't forget to check in with Preston for Star Wars Sundays. If you haven't listened to our previous weekly prologue. Go ahead and take a listen to that. Like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. And of course, we will be back at you next week. So with that, Preston, you know what to do.
Yeah.
Sister doesn't want
Thank you for listening to another episode of The Testing Room. To catch up on past episodes or to check out the newest ones when they drop, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcast. If watching is more your thing, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/@thetestingroom, or watch us live on twitch.tv/testingroomlive. To leave comments or ask questions, you can follow us on Instagram @testingroompod, leave a comment on YouTube, or send them in to testingroompod@gmail.com. See you next time.